Hey puzzlers, Steve here with another video on how to solve some logic puzzles. This one's known as a Tripod Sudoku. So it is a variant on your regular Sudoku rules, but very similar to normal Sudoku, every row and column must contain all the digits without repeating. Now the grid size can be of any dimension, but in this case we have an 8x8 instead of a 9x9 to make it a little bit easier. Now the difference here is we don't know where the regions are. There are regions, and digits can't repeat in any region, but we have to figure out where the regions are. And the dots are going to be our clues. What a dot represents is where three lines meet. At no point in this grid do four lines intersect one another. And that's it for the rules. What I'm going to go ahead and do is try to solve this puzzle for you guys, sharing some common tips and tricks along the way. That'll hopefully make it easier for you to solve this type of puzzle yourself in the future. Now I did pull this particular puzzle from a recently published book of mine on Amazon. I'll post a link in the description below. Would love it if you guys would check it out. But without further ado, let's get started. So the number one thing I would start with is just drawing any borders jutting out from the edge. So these dots along the edge already have two lines. We know there must be a third, and it can only go in one direction. Obviously it can't come left. So we could do that along the edge on all of these. And what we know is that that's going to separate regions. We know that this cell and this cell cannot be part of the same region because there's a line dividing them. And if there's any point along the edge where there's not a dot, you know that those cells must be in the same region. So if we look at this cell and this cell, we know that's going to be the same region. And the reason for that is if it were in different regions, there would have to be a line there. And if there's a line there, there would need to be a dot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of those cells, and I will give it a certain color. And we can do the same along the edges that way too. And then here, and that is going to be probably the best way to start these puzzles. Let's make that, I don't know, gray. And now here along the bottom, there is no dots. So we know that all of these actually have to be part of the same region. And because of that, that is a complete region. There's 8 digits there, right? Because that's a whole row. So I'm actually going to highlight all of that. And let's make that, I don't know, yeah, green like that. And then I'm going to go back to my drawing tool, and I'm actually going to draw the full border there. And now this little dot, we have a line to the left and a line to the right. We know the third line can't come down, otherwise that would intersect here, and this would need to be a dot. Plus these two cells are in the same region, so we can't divide those. So the line must go up like that when we've solved that dot. Now if we go to these two cells, that must be part of the same region. We'll make that, let's make that blue, and then these are all part of the same region. Let's make that, I don't know, purple. Well, let's make it red. Now, this dot we can solve actually because we know we can't divide these two cells, so the line can't come to the left, so the line must go up, down, and to the right. Because again, there's 3 lines that jut out from that dot. So it goes up, down, and to the right. And that is again a great start. That's exactly how I would start this puzzle. And then we see the same technique up here with this dot. We know that we can't separate these two cells because that's part of the same region. So we know we can draw the 3 lines that way. Now if we think about this intersection right here where my mouse is, hopefully you can see that, there's already 2 lines. We cannot have a third line, or a fourth line in fact. And so therefore we know all of these 3 cells are part of the same region, right? Otherwise a line would come down to separate them, or a line would come over to separate them. So we know these are in fact part of the same region, which is that light green color. And now we could solve this dot. So I've actually not used any Sudoku strategies yet. We'll get to that point. But I try to define the regions as best as possible. So this dot, you can't have the line coming up. We've already explained that. So it has to go to the left, right, and down. And then we can use that same technique for these three cells. Because if we look at this intersection right here, we've already got two lines. We can't have a third or a fourth line coming down. So all of these are part of the same region. And in fact, it can't be orange because there's a line separating these two, and it can't be green because it's separating those. So it's going to be a different color. Now, I'm not sure. It could technically be part of this red, I think, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It could be. So I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to highlight this, but I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to put a little dot here. I'm not going to color it because I don't know if it belongs to this region or a different region, but I know that these three are part of the same. Okay, so at this point, I think it's time to start looking at numbers. Well, you know what? I just realized this area here is not 8, right? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 2 more. It needs to expand this way because this line cuts off that route and this line cuts off that route, so that's squeezed to come down here, if that makes sense. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 needs 2 more, has to be these two. So there we go. We've actually solved that region because that's 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is an 8 by 8, so we can actually do that now. Oops, and one more to separate that. And now this region has to come down here, right? This 2 is squeezed and kind of forced. And because it has to come down, these two cells here are part of the same region, and therefore this line cannot go over here. If that were the case, you'd see we'd isolate this 2 into its own region, and every region must be 8 cells. So the region goes like that. We've solved that dot. All right, so now let's get to the actual numbers, the Sudoku part of it. So if we think about this row, we're missing 3 digits. We're missing a 2, 4, and 6. Well, the 2 and 4 can't go here. We already have a 2 and 4 in this column. So this must be the 6. Now we're missing a 2 and a 4. Well, this can't be a 2 because there's already a 2 in that column. So that must be a 4, making this the 2. If we look here, we have another triple here. We're missing 3 digits. We're missing a 2, 7, and 8. Well, this must be the 2 because we already have a 7 and 8 in that row. So this is the 2. Now we're needing 7 and 8. This has to be the 7 because the 8's already there in that row, making this the 8. So we've solved that column now. Here is 3 digits missing, so we have a triple. We're missing a 4, 5, 8. Right? Yeah, 4, 5, 8. This can't be an 8. So this is a 4 or 5. So let's just write 4 or 5. We don't know which one yet. That's no help there. This is an 8 up here. So you know what? The 8 is forced to be here because this 8 makes that not possible to be an 8. That's not possible to be an 8 because of that one. So we only have one spot for an 8 in that row, making this also a 4 or 5. All right. Where would I go now? So if we think, bear with me here. See if we can do maybe some more coloring. I don't know, this row, we're missing 4 digits in this row. Let's see if we can figure something out there. So we're missing a 1. 1 can't go here. 1 could go in any of those. Oh, you know what? This region here is forced to come out. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. This must be red. This cannot be red because we've already separated these two. So let's draw our border between those two. And now if we think about it, this cell is forced to come out and be a different color of that one. So let's make that, I don't know, yellow. And now, if we think about where are we? Okay, so we know one can't go there. One's going to go into one of those. That's not of any help. What about 3? We're missing. 3 can't go there. Still not much help. 5. Well, not much help. 6. 6 can't go there or there. So that forces a 6 in one of those two, but again, that's not really helpful. What am I missing here? Think about this dot. This dot cannot be these 2 lines. Because if it were these 2 lines, that would force this region up here. And I think this red region would be trapped. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It'd have to be something like that, which would make this region up here not possible, because that is 5, 6. Okay, so because the lines cannot be both of those, it has to be both of these, right? And the logic with that is, at most, it can only be one of these going up, right? So it has to be these 2, and the third is either up or over. Now this 8 can't be part of this yellow region. We already have an 8 here. So if this region comes over, can't come down because you have 2 8s in the same region. So there we go. We have our third line on that dot. That dot's solved. This is now part of this region, so we can color it yellow. That is helpful. These are part of the same region. Oh, you know what? This is a neat little trick. Again, we've done this earlier, so we know that whenever we have 2 lines hitting an intersection, we know the 3 cells on the other side are all part of the same region. And since this is blue, these 2 must be blue. So let's find that shade of blue. And now this is a 5 in this region. We can't have 2 5s in the same region, so this is a 4, making that a 5. That was helpful. This line here cannot be a border, otherwise there would have to be a dot here, right? You have 2 lines hitting an intersection. You can't have 3 or 4. If you had 3, there would be a dot. So this is blue as well. And same thing here. This one is blue. And in fact, we can actually do that all along here. We can do that same trick. Wow, I didn't catch that earlier. So none of these have dots, right? And just like the border, these all must be part of the same region. So these are all gray. Wow, if any of you caught that, good on you. That took me a while to catch. That is helpful. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is part of that region, right? You can't separate these 2, otherwise a dot would have to be there. So this is blue. Oops, let's make it the same blue. Gosh, there we go. All right, so the 8th cell must be here, right? Because you have 3, 5, 6, 7. It's forced to be here for the 8th cell. And now that's finished that border there. And now we know this dot because these 2 cells must be the same, right? Because otherwise you'd have a line here and a dot. So these 2 must be the same, and they have to be gray because same thing. These 2 have to be the same. Otherwise there'd be a dot. So all of that is gray. And I think that looks like 8 cells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there we go. We could actually draw that border now around the gray. And this dot is solved now because we have 1, 2 lines jutting out from it. We need a third. Well, can't be this one because that would separate these 2 cells. So it's there. And now we're missing one digit in this region. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need a 6. That's a 6 there. We're missing 2 cells in this region, or 2 digits. We're missing a 3 and a 7. And unfortunately, we can't solve that yet, but we can pencil it in, 3 or 7. And that's a double. So this is where normal Sudoku strategies can come in handy. So we're missing 2 digits here. Since we have a double there, those are going to be, if this is 3, that's going to be 7. If that's 7, that's going to be 3. So no matter what, 3 and 7 can't go in these 2 cells. These 2 cells must be a 2 and an 8. Well, this is an 8 already in that column. So that must make this the 8, that the 2. And we know all of these 3 are part of the same region. Is that going to be helpful in any way? Not quite sure yet on that. Let's see. This is so we were missing 4 cells here. I think we looked at this earlier. We're missing a 1, which can't go here because of that one. We're missing a 3, can't go here. Missing a 5 and a 6. Well, the 6 can't go here because of that, and the 6 can't go here because of that. So the 6s are going to be in one of these 2. That's still not really helpful. Oh, you know what? This little point right here. We've come across this a few times now. So this intersection right where my mouse is hovering already has 2 lines. We can't have a 3rd line coming out of that, otherwise there'd be a dot there. So 1, 2, 3, all of these have to be the same color. We already know that's blue. So there you go. So that is that. And these 2 are part of the same region because it's the same thing. Otherwise there'd be a line breaking them up. And these 2 are part of the same region. So these are all blue as well. And then same thing here. If we look at this intersection, that already has 2 points. So all of these 3 must be the same color, making those blue. And I think that's 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we found that region. Oops. So there you go. There's that. And now all of these have to be the same. I think these all have to be the same. Yeah, because this is a point right here where there's 2 lines. So all of these have to be that yellow. These have to be the same, otherwise there'd be a dot there. So that's yellow. And same thing, now we know all of those are yellow. And that I believe is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that is that region, like that. And now I think these 3 have to be part of this one, because if we think this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so we can't have these 3. Yeah, so 7, 8. Yep, that's how that goes. So that's going to be all orange. This is going to be all red like that. There we go. And so we've defined our regions. We can delete our little pencil marks there. And now it's just like a jigsaw Sudoku, right? We're just solving a Sudoku with weird regions. And so that is, I think the fun part's over. The fun part was defining the regions. Now it's just the regular old school Sudoku. So we're missing 4 in this region. We're missing a 1. 1 can't go in these. So 1's going to be in one of these 2. I'm going to just put that there. 3 can be in any of those. We're missing a 5, which can't be in these 2. So this is a 1-5 pair. And so this is then a pair of 3s, 6. But this 6 is already in this row. So this can't be a 6. That's a 3. That's the 6. Now this is a double here. We're missing the digits 2 and 4. We already have a 4 in this row. So this is a 2. That's the 4. This is a triple. We're missing 3, 7, 8. Right? 7's up here and 8's up here. So this is the 3. This is a 7, 8 pair now. that's all we can do. This is a triple now in this region. We're missing a 1, 5, 6. 1, 5, 6. Well, this can't be the 6, so the 6 is over here. That's not all that helpful. What are we missing here? We got a quadruple. We're missing a 1, 5, 6. 1, 5, 6, and a 3. Well, 3 can't go here. What am I drawing? Oh, the 6. 6 can't be these two because that's already in the same region. It can't be this one because there's already 6 in that region. So this is forced to be a 6. Nice. So this is a 1, 3, 5. But this is a 3. So this is a 1, 5 pair. And we have a 1, 5 pair there, so that makes this to be the 3. This is a triple here. Oh, you know what? I don't think I've drawn my borderline. Maybe I did. I just can't see it. But anyways, 3 digits. 1, 5, 4. 4 is already in that row, so that forces a 4 there. And now we're missing a 1 and a 5. Right? 1, 5. What are these two? Well, let's see. This is a quadruple. What are we missing? A 1? I feel like 1s have been troublesome. Well, let's look at these two. 1, 5, 6. Where does the 6 go? 1, 5, 6. 1, 5, 6. Well, 6 can't go here, so one of these is going to be a 6. I don't know. I feel like I've used up all my brain cells in finding the regions, and now I'm stumped on the Sudoku part. Here's a quad. So 7 can't go here. You know what? Let's do. So we're missing 2. 2s can't go here. And a 2 can't go here. So the 2 is forced there. Yeah. Okay, so 2 is already in that row. 2 is already in that row. 2 is already in that region. So 2 is forced there. So 3, 7, 5 is what we're missing. 3, 7, 5. 3, 7, 5. We know 7 can't go there. 3, 7, 5. Here, what are we missing in this row? We're missing a 3. Yeah, no, that's not helpful. 5. 5 can't go there. So that puts a 5 in one of these. And a 7, 8. Let's look at these 4 again. 1 can't go here. Oh, 2. You know what? Let's look at this can't be a 2 or a 3. So it's either a 1 or 8. Right? Because we're looking at this column here. Yeah, so this is a naked single. Think about it. So this could be a 1. Can't be a 2, can't be a 3, can't be a 4, can't be a 5, can't be a 6, can't be a 7, can't be an 8. So that is a 1. Oh, geez. These 3. Now we're missing 2, 2, 3, 8. Well, this is an 8 and a 3, so this is forced to be a 2. Now we're missing a 3 and an 8. I don't think we can figure that out. 3, 8, 3, 8. But that's helpful because that's in the same region as this. So now this is a double. So we're missing in this region now a 7 and a 5. So this is a 5, 7 pair. And that 5, 7 pair means this can't be a 7. There we go. So this, one of these has to be a 7, right? If that's a 7, that's a 5. That's a 5, that's a 7. Either way, this can't be a 7. That's an 8, making that the 7. And now this, we're missing 1, 5, and 6. 1, 5, 6. Still not helpful. 1, 5, 6. Here we go. We're missing here a 1, 3. Well, 3 can't go here, so that puts a 3 in one of these two. Yeah. So if a 3's in one of these two, this can't be a 3. So that's an 8. That's a 3. That's helpful, I think, because now we know 3's in one of these. Where's this? Oh, you know what? This 1 means this can't be a 1 anymore. That's a 5, making that the 1, that the 5. Okay, and now this is a triple. We're missing, okay, so these can't be 5s because of that. So this is forced to be a 5. That's the 1. And now this is a double. We need a 1, which can't go here because of that 1. So this is a 1, and we need a 6. And so now this can't be a 6. These are a 3-6 pair. So this is 3-6, 3-6. And in fact, this can't be a 6 because of that 6. So that's a 3, that's a 6, making that the 5. Okay, now that's a 7, that's a 5. This 7 makes this a 3, that's a 7. And here we go. As the cracking the cryptic would people say, we're cooking with gas now. All right, this is a single. We are missing a 4. And now this is the last digit in the grid. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Need a 7. There you have it. That is how you do a tripod Sudoku. Lots of fun, to be honest. I think this was probably my favorite Sudoku variant. Maybe not the favorite, but definitely up there. I would say top 2, top 3. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I think this was a little bit of a longer video. I struggled there for a little bit, but hopefully you guys had a lot of fun. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.